Hi guys! So recently I've been doing a lot of thinking. The last video I made was about the whole Crunchyroll High Guardian Spice debacle, and if you haven't seen that video I'll put a link here. Is it here or here? One of these corners so you can watch it, because there was a whole big blowout about whether High Guardian Spice is an anime or is it a cartoon, but it doesn't come from Japan, it comes from America, so what actually is it? And that made me pose the question, does anime have to come from Japan? So after reading all of the comments on that video, there was a lot of different opinions, people saying it is a cartoon, people saying it's not a cartoon. There were just way too many, and it made me think, well, what actually is an anime and what defines something as being an anime? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the first question we need to ask ourselves is, what is anime? And according to the internet, this is what an anime is. Anime is a style of hand-drawn and computer animation originating in and commonly associated with Japan. The word anime is the Japanese term for animation, which means all forms of animated media. Outside Japan, anime refers specifically to animation from Japan or as a Japanese disseminated animation style, often characterized by colorful graphics, vibrant characters, and fantastical themes. So in my opinion, that definition is really neither here or there. It does state that anime is specifically something that originates in and is associated with Japan, but then it goes across the board and says anime literally means animation, which is all forms of animated media. So then that poses another question in my mind. Does it have to come from Japan or doesn't it? When you think of anime, you think of things like Sailor Moon and Evangelion, Naruto, One Piece, you know, all of the classic traditional styles of anime. Because according to this, anime is known for vibrant characters and colors and big fantastical themes. And of course, that is very prevalent in a lot of shows, specifically the ones I mentioned. But you also get modern day shows which are not sort of stereotypically what an anime should look like in terms of style. You get things like Panty Stocking, which looks incredibly westernized, but technically is an anime because it's from Japan, right? But then you have a show like Attack on Titan, which has lots of different forms of media. You know, they have 2D animation and 3D animation. You know, 3D is being used a lot nowadays. And Ping Pong, the anime, something like I've never seen before. The style is, whether it's from Japan or not, it's like nothing I've ever seen. So there is no set style or set theme. Something has to be for it to categorize itself as an anime, as long as it is using colorful characters, has big, interesting themes, and vibrant colors, supposedly. So then that makes me think, well, does it have to come from Japan then? Does it just have to have these very individual, unique characters and bright colors to be an anime? So it doesn't have to come from Japan, right? So then that leads me to sort of the other side of the argument, which is no, it doesn't have to come from Japan, because still in this definition it says the culturally abstract approach to the word's meaning may open up the possibility of anime produced in countries other than Japan. So that is saying that because the word anime literally means animation, it could mean any sort of animated media, not necessarily from Japan. So then that brings me round to the whole Crunchyroll argument with their original High Guardian Spice. They haven't claimed it's an anime, but they haven't claimed that it's a cartoon. So what exactly is it? Because it's being streamed on an anime streaming service. So is it an anime? I've done quite a lot of research and I have found a few different shows that have in the past, or I've seen people on the internet claiming that it is an anime, but upon digging further, it actually wasn't created in Japan. For example, there is a show on Netflix called Castlevania. It's a Netflix original and it is in the anime section of Netflix. I was actually interested in this show and I began watching it and it started voicing everything in English and I thought, oh, okay, maybe I'll see what the original Japanese is like. Trying to switch the audio and then realizing there isn't a Japanese. And I thought, why? It turns out that Castlevania is actually based off of a Japanese video game, but the TV series produced for Netflix isn't actually from Japan. It is, and I quote, an American anime-influenced animated series. When I was watching it, it was very clear to me that it was anime style. It's so obvious that there is a lot of anime and Japanese influence in the show, but there was something not quite right about it. Something was a little bit off. And when I found out that it was an American-made series, the box just ticked in my head. Well, that makes sense. You can tell that they're very heavily influenced by anime art styles, but it's not actually from Japan. It made sense to me. But then, why is it in the anime section if it's only anime influenced? Because then technically, it's a cartoon, right? But then you've got things like RWBY. Now, loads and loads of people online have been claiming that RWBY isn't anime, but then loads of people have been claiming that it's not. But then according to its official description, RWBY is an American anime-style web series and media franchise. Again, so many people have claimed it's an anime, but again, it's an American anime-style show. So then the more I thought about it, I couldn't come up with a conclusion. I wanted to wrap up this video and end it with my own opinion on whether I think anime has to come from Japan, but honestly, I really am not sure at this point, because yes, technically anime is derived from the word animation, so that could mean any type of animation in any type of country, but anime itself, the medium itself, was created in Japan, and so that means it has to come from Japan. So please leave me a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm really conflicted at the moment because there are so many arguments for and against. I'm really unsure, but I think that I've made some good arguments for and against, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and to sort of give me a conclusion and to wrap it up, because I don't think there is a set rule for this, and I want to just throw a discussion out there. So let me know and give me a thumbs up for anime. I don't know. Thumbs up for anime. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
I shut my eyes, trying not to speak, pretend that I'm dreaming. I smell your breath, not listening, but I still hear you screaming.